The 6 fastest virtual racers from the UK and Ireland are competing for the life-changing opportunity of racing for real at the Dubai 24 Hours.
Yesterday they were just gamers, today they're drivers.
I've been given a backstage pass to race camp to witness the unique driver selection process, and it seems the gamers are still adjusting to their surroundings.
It's so cool if you think about it. I mean, it only hit me afterwards. When I was driving around the international circuit, it was like, yeah, driving and doing a lap. But, you know, there was a British Grand Prix held here a few weeks ago.
I looked out the window and it's Silverstone. It's practically 50 meters and it's the track itself.
It's funny, you don't think about it when you're doing it. You just have to focus on what you have to do.
Focus on the task at hand.
I made a conscious effort not to let myself get nervous. So before I did the first task, I stood there and I just took a few deep breaths.
It's difficult to kind of put it out of your mind, the fact that it's such a big deal. And it's funny, the guy said to me, just make sure you don't go from 4th to 2nd because you will blow the engine. That would be bad. And that kind of gives you a reality check and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I never said that.
The judges have just a week to find a driver for Dubai, so they decamp from Silverstone and decide to get back to basics for the next challenge.
Welcome to Daytona Racetrack. This is where you guys will go head-to-head on the racetrack, racing each other.
At 1.36 kilometers, the kart circuit is short and technical. It'll give the judges an insight into the gamer's racing style and instinct. Basic? Maybe. Revealing? Definitely.
We're racing the infamous twin-engine Pro Kart. First of all in a 15-minute qualifying session and then in an 8-lap race against each other.
Now, this is where we cut our teeth when we started racing. Professional racing drivers, 99% of them started here. So we're going to see what driving skills you've got.
Jack O'Neill's morning didn't go quite to plan, so now he needs something special.
Earlier in the benchmark test, we were up against the clock and we didn't really know who was doing what, and it was very difficult to gauge how well we were all doing. But now it's an actual race, I feel much more confident. I do believe I'm going to win today. I know it's a bit big-headed, but that's what I believe. Yes, that's going to happen.
But Des Foley has been doing his homework.
I prepared for this by looking up some videos on YouTube of guys going around doing the lap in a race. I found a video that was about an hour long and it was a 50-minute race, so it was good to watch it again and again and get lines into my head.
As the guys got to grips with qualifying, Rob and Johnny gave me the lowdown on the challenge.
Karting is the purest form of motorsport. Very simple. We get to see the basics. We can sit very close to the circuit and watch the guys in action, free from the distractions of ABS, traction control, stability management. We can just see the way they're handling the chassis of the car around the corners and look at their demeanour in the cars.
When they're racing, they'll be driving sort of millimetres apart, and then there is taking that all on board, and then there is the overtaking, so there's going to be that raw skill.
Some of these guys have been working on the slide. My man Des has watched 50 laps of this on YouTube, which is incredibly dull, but incredibly interesting that he's that well prepared, isn't it?
Yeah. He's watched laps of the Silverstone Stowe circuit, he's watched laps of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. He knows the place inside out. It'll be very interesting to see how Des, after studying YouTube for hours and hours and hours, compares against Jack, who's been around this kart circuit before.
Jack gets the fastest time in qualifying and earns pole position for the race. Thomas Gibson is in 2nd, David Williams in 3rd, Des 4th, Danny Glover in 5th, and Istvan Demesh starts from 6th.
I have to say, it is really, really hot down here. You probably don't notice it in my face because as a presenter I've had all my sweat glands removed. But for these guys in a race suit, dealing with this circuit and this tarmac that has the sun beating down on it, it's seriously hot. So they're getting a real introduction. You know, they're not on their sofa anymore. Oh, they're tipping already. Get in there, son.
Straight into the first corner, David Williams gets rammed onto the verge by Thomas Gibson. Just 1 lap in, and Jack has already managed to find 3 seconds on his closest rival, with the gap getting bigger.
It's interesting, Jack took a really tight line going in there really nicely. He was far right and then cut in on the apex. He actually knows what he's doing.
I do believe I'm going to win today. I know it's a bit big-headed.
Jack's pre-race confidence wasn't just bravado. This guy is no stranger to karting.
I race with my brother in endurance racing. We've done many races now as a team, and we've always done really, really well.
And the karting gene runs in the family.
My dad's been a big inspiration for me in general life, in motorsport sense as well. When I was a lot younger, he used to race a lot with the kart team, and he was very successful at what he did. Oh, if I was going to be as good as him, I'd be really happy.
Awesome, man.
If I was to win the GT Academy, it would have a big effect on my family. It's probably the thing I'm most worried about, above all things. Somebody has to win the competition at the end of the day, and if it was me, I guess we've just got to take every stage as it comes and think about what happens in the future.
Jack's calculated approach to the circuit has seen him pull away even further. The simplicity of karting allows the gamers to really express their racing styles. Most of the guys will fall into two broad categories. Firstly, the instinctive or natural driver. This kind of person reacts to situations changing around them. They constantly look to gain an advantage through their superior natural feel for the car and quickly adapt when conditions change. They will take more risks overtaking and weaving through traffic with explosive driving at the very limits of the car's performance. Think Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher, or the great Ayrton Senna. The polar opposite is the scientific or learned driver. They take a more strategic approach, studying every aspect of racing from the car to circuit to fellow competitors. They meticulously plan their race in their head, calculating every bend, braking point, lap time and pit stop. Think Damon Hill, Sebastian Vettel and the man dubbed the Professor, Mr. Alain Prost. Both styles are successful and our judges will be looking to develop each driver according to his personality. Jack has now established a comfortable lead, but behind him, it's starting to hot up.
Good scrap! Oh, that's great stuff, boys.
So David Williams and Tom Gibson, absolutely tooth and nail.
Oh, this is great stuff. Jack is miles ahead, but there's a great battle for second going on here. Really aggressive racing. Just really good to see that they're getting like that. They're getting a bit feisty, you know?
After several laps of fighting with Thomas, David, in car 32, steals second by going wide on a left-hand corner.
The two who were best in the 370s are 4th and 5th.
Way back in 4th, Dez's early hopes of a podium are slipping away.
It's interesting, I thought Des was going to do better here. He's watched 50 laps of this on YouTube. And certainly going through all that pain and it not paying off is going to hurt that boy.
Des is going to struggle here. He's 6'1". I don't know how much he weighs. It's going to be a little bit loose, I would guess, at the back. But
Isfan weighs as much as an empty packet of crisps, though, and he's
yes,
massively lagging behind.
Into the final lap, and Jack has increased his lead even further.
All right, boys, are we enjoying the Jack O'Neill show?
Yeah, he's really consistent. In car, O'Neill struggled, excuses, inconsistent, but he's been really quite quick this evening and dead consistent. So hopefully this might
spur him on.
Yeah, draw something out of him tomorrow when we put him back in car.
Jack eventually crosses the line a full 8 seconds in front of second place David Williams. With Thomas Gibson in 3rd, Des finishes 4th, with Danny Glover in 5th. Istvan finishes at the foot of the table. Post-race, the gamers may be smiling, but some have showed their will to win.
We were all kind of both driving for the same piece of tarmac, so I had to kind of mount the curb on the inside.
It's the first time we've actually competitively raced against each other, and it's great to come out on top.
I'll tell you who I'm worried about is Istvan, because he didn't go well this morning.
I'm comfortably predicting excuses in terms of, oh, my ribs hurt, or I've not been here before. There'll be something.
What are you going to go with?
Ribs.
Ribs.
I'll have 10
What are you going to go with?
I'll probably go with ribs as well.
My ribs were hurting a lot worse than before, and I think it's been affecting me quite badly during the race. I can't tell for sure, but it was a pain in every right corner.
Well, the end of day one. Today, the karting, we had one winner, which was Jack. There you go, Jack, very well done.
Jack O'Neill, easily the strongest from the karting. Dan Glover and Des Foley pushing him hard, but Istvan, no, I don't think he's going to make the grade.